Have you ever stopped to ponder the mysterious nature of consciousness and its origins? A simple question, yet one laden with profound implications. Consciousness, the intimate sense of self-awareness that makes us who we are, is a fascinating paradox. It's as ubiquitous as the air we breathe, yet as elusive as a shadow in the dark. Every waking moment, we experience the world through the lens of consciousness. It's the silent narrator of our lives, dictating our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. Yet, despite its omnipresence, consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. How it arises, why it exists, and what it truly means are questions that have puzzled philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for millennia. These questions, however, are not merely academic or philosophical. They strike at the very heart of our understanding of the natural world and our place within it. If we are to uncover the secrets of consciousness, we must start by asking, how did it evolve? What forces of nature could have given rise to such a complex and profound phenomenon? This is where the enigmatic Charles Darwin enters our story. Over a century ago, Darwin proposed his theory of natural selection, a revolutionary idea that forever changed our understanding of life. According to Darwin, species evolve over time through the process of natural selection, where beneficial traits become more common in a population, while less advantageous traits become less common. But how does this relate to consciousness? Could the theory of natural selection provide a framework for understanding the emergence of consciousness? These are the questions we will explore in this video. We'll delve into the fundamentals of Darwin's theory, examine its implications for consciousness, and explore the evidence that supports this intriguing possibility. So, let's dive deep into the theory of natural selection to see how it might explain the emergence of consciousness. Prepare to embark on a journey that will take us from the dawn of life on Earth to the far reaches of the human mind. Hold on tight, for we're about to venture into the unknown. To understand the evolution of consciousness, we must first understand Darwin's theory of natural selection. Darwin's natural selection is like a grand theater where species are the actors, survival is the role, and the script is written by the environment. The play unfolds over many generations, and the best performers pass on their successful traits to the next act, their offspring. Let's imagine a forest where two types of beetles reside, green and brown. The green beetles are easily spotted by birds, their primary predators, while the brown beetles blend seamlessly with the tree barks. Over time, the green beetles are gobbled up, leaving behind a thriving population of brown beetles. The brown beetles then pass on their camouflage trait to their offspring. And voila! We have evolution through natural selection. This theory is not just about physical traits. It also applies to behaviors. Let's consider a group of meerkats. Some meerkats are more vigilant than others, always on the lookout for danger. These watchful meerkats are less likely to become a predator's lunch and more likely to pass on their vigilant behavior to their offspring. Over generations, this group of meerkats becomes increasingly watchful, a behavioral trait honed by natural selection. But remember, natural selection is not a conscious designer. It doesn't plan or predict. It's a process driven by survival and reproduction, where traits that increase an individual's chances of survival and reproduction become more common over generations. Darwin's theory of natural selection provides us with a framework to understand how species evolve over time. It's like a lens through which we can examine the intricate tapestry of life, each thread representing a species, each knot a trait, woven together by the loom of time and the shuttle of natural selection. Now that we understand natural selection, we can apply it to our understanding of consciousness. Let's apply Darwin's theory to the evolution of consciousness. Imagine a world where everything is in a constant state of flux, where every organism is striving to survive and reproduce. This is the world that Darwin described, a world governed by the process of natural selection. Now let's introduce consciousness into this picture. Consciousness, in its simplest form, can be described as the awareness of one's surroundings and self. It's the ability to perceive, to feel, to think. Now, Why would such an attribute evolve in a world where survival is the only game in town? The answer, perhaps, lies in the advantages that consciousness provides. Consider early humans. They were not the fastest, nor the strongest, but they had a secret weapon: their minds. Consciousness would have allowed them to understand their environment in a way that no other creature could. They could plan, strategize, and learn from their mistakes. They could remember where food was abundant, where danger lurked, who was friend and who was foe. In this harsh world of survival, such abilities would have been invaluable. A conscious human could outsmart a faster predator, outmaneuver a stronger rival. They could cooperate with others, form alliances, share knowledge. All these are powerful survival strategies, and natural selection would have favored those individuals who possessed them. But consciousness isn't just about survival, it's also about reproduction. A conscious individual could choose the best mate, the one most likely to ensure the survival of their offspring. They could educate their young, pass on their knowledge, ensure that their genes and their consciousness lived on. So in the grand scheme of evolution, consciousness emerges not as a random fluke, but as a vital tool for survival and reproduction. It is selected for, favored by the harsh rules of nature because it provides a distinct advantage. And so, we see how the theory of natural selection can explain the emergence of consciousness. It paints a picture of consciousness not as some mystical, unexplainable phenomenon, but as a product of the natural world, shaped by the same forces that have shaped all life on Earth. So, consciousness may have evolved as a survival tool. But how can we know this is true? The proof, they say, is in the pudding. So, what evidence supports the idea that consciousness evolved through natural selection? Let's dive into the world of animals first. Take the humble octopus as an example. Despite being an invertebrate, the octopus exhibits a high level of consciousness. It's known for its problem-solving abilities, learning capacity, and even mimicry, all of which are signs of an advanced cognitive function. Now, why would an octopus need such abilities? The answer lies in its environment. Living in the vast and unpredictable ocean, these skills provide a significant survival advantage. The octopus's consciousness allows it to adapt and thrive in a challenging world. Drawing parallels from the animal kingdom, let's journey back in time to the early human societies. Our ancestors, the hunter-gatherers, lived in a world fraught with danger. Every day they had to make decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. To survive, they needed to understand their environment, predict the behavior of animals, and communicate effectively with each other. All of these tasks required a certain level of consciousness. The more conscious they were, the better their chances of survival. Studies of modern-day indigenous societies, living much like our ancestors did, reinforce this notion. These societies often have a rich understanding of their environment, intricate social structures, and complex language systems. All of these require a high level of consciousness. Furthermore, there's evidence to suggest that consciousness continued to evolve even after our ancestors settled down and formed complex societies. The invention of writing, for instance, required an even higher level of cognitive function. This suggests that consciousness wasn't just beneficial for survival in the wild. It also provided advantages in more advanced structured societies. In essence, consciousness seems to have provided survival advantages at every stage of human evolution, from the early hunter-gatherer societies to the complex civilizations of today. It's a tool that has helped us adapt to ever-changing environments and circumstances. These examples provide compelling evidence that consciousness evolved through natural selection. What does it mean for us if consciousness evolved through natural selection? Well, if consciousness did indeed evolve through natural selection, it implies that it must have had some survival value for our ancestors. Perhaps our ability to reflect upon our own thoughts and feelings, to plan, to imagine, to create, was crucial in navigating the challenges of their world. This view of consciousness as a survival tool challenges the notion that it's merely an intriguing byproduct of evolution, a useless ornament. Instead, it places consciousness at the very heart of our evolutionary journey. It also suggests that consciousness is not unique to humans. If it is a product of natural selection, it is likely that other creatures too possess some form of consciousness. Their consciousness may not be identical to ours. It may be as different as a bat's perception of the world is from ours, but it is consciousness nevertheless. Furthermore, if consciousness evolved, it is not static. It is not the final product, the ultimate achievement of evolution. It is a process that is still ongoing. Our consciousness today might be different than the consciousness of our ancestors thousands of years ago. And it might be different from the consciousness of humans thousands of years into the future. But perhaps the most profound implication is this: if consciousness evolved, then it is a natural phenomenon, a part of the natural world. It is not something supernatural or mystical. It is not a ghost in the machine, a divine spark. It is a product of the same natural processes that shaped the stars in the sky, the mountains on the earth, the life in the oceans. This view of consciousness has profound implications for our understanding of ourselves. It challenges us to rethink our place in the universe, our relationship with other creatures, our understanding of what it means to be human. So, while consciousness remains a mystery in many ways, Darwin's theory of natural selection provides a compelling framework for understanding its evolution.